Hello guys, it has been a while that I haven't uploaded a video just because I didn't have the mood and I'm a bit stressed out after the long stories in Malaysia. And now that I have came back in Iran, I have seen suddenly a video about the forced labors in Malaysia. They call it student trafficking in Malaysia, but it's almost forced labor. And the rage.com.my is trying to make those awarenesses, but I'm really sorry that I'm not speaking in a proper manner because I'm really having a hard time in psychological problem to cope up with these ideas. When I think about them, I get really nervous, so I can't talk probably about them. And please bear with me and go along and see what are the points that I'm going to make. I believe that rage.com.my, the guys, the activists, are looking at the problem through a mirror. They are looking at the reflection of a problem from a mirror. They are not looking at the problem directly. I will explain that. Let's first of all look at myself. I have worked in Malaysia 2 years illegally in a company, and then because it was an engineering job and we could tell the government that because of some of the research that I'm doing, I'm working in the company, but it was almost illegal because there was no documentation, but I did it just for knowledge, not for the money, because there was no money in it. I did the 2 years illegal job, and then just to be good at what I am supposed to be good at. And then after that, I wanted to work in Malaysia. The government didn't give me the visa. They said you are not professional engineer because you don't have 2 years of experience. So the government itself did not recognize me as a professional engineer. And in, for example, Europe, Australia, whatever country that you go, when you study somewhere, you're expected to be given 1 year or 2 years. In Germany, it's 1 year and 6 months of time so that you can find a job. It's not a weird thing to do. They didn't do it. They even said that you cannot get the job because you don't have the experience, and they ignored my resume, my proposal, my documents. Secondly, insurance. Even if you get a professional job in Malaysia, some of us foreigners cannot get the insurances, like Iranian, Arab, some of Arabic countries like Iraq. I believe that they cannot get insurance because we are from high risk country, as they call it. It means that the government told them not to make insurance for us for some reasons that we don't know. We want to pay them for insurance, they don't give us, and it's a really big challenge. The third problem is banks. When you want to open a bank account, you really need to fight for it, for an Iranian. In UCSI universities, they were changing the student cards to a bank, Citibank, I believe. But because we were Iranian, they wouldn't change the card to a bank account. So it was really hard to get the bank account. It was only for, I think, Irani, and North Korea. They told me North Korea and Iran. There is no North Korean basically in the world. If they come out, they are asylum seekers somewhere. They are not allowed to come out of North Korea. So if they come out, they are going to have change their nationality and get from the other nationality, they can get the bank accounts or whatever. But for Iranian, it was such a different thing. They would not allow us to have a bank account. it meant that we had to sometimes put our money inside the house, and we need to somehow smuggle the money from Iran to Malaysia. Although we were a student in there, we need to use drug trafficking dealers in order to do money laundering in order to live and survive in Malaysia. They didn't open any channel for Iranian to bring money and spend. It's a global phenomenon that Iranian students even cannot get money from their home country. So first was that they didn't even allow me to work in Malaysia. Second was that they didn't give, even if they would allow me to work in Malaysia, they wouldn't give me the insurance. Third was the bank accounts and other problems that they would create for me. At the end of the day, you want to live in a country, and it was not, I understood that it was not a livable country for foreigners. And I'm talking about those problems that I have faced with personally in order to make you understand what problem you are pursuing, because you are a local. You didn't see it from our perspective. You tried to, but it's our perspective. I have said that you have looked at the problem through a mirror. You have seen the reflection of the problem through a mirror. It means just the reflection. Reflection is some of the amount of the whole data that you are supposed to receive. You see, there is a need of labor, cheap labor, and there is a need of workers who want to come here. If the government connects the correct agencies to do the job, they would have to ensure that the laborers that they are coming are having insurance, they are living in a humane condition, and they are having the minimum wage. At least these three things they have. They have to have the minimum holidays allowed and other things. Because your government do not want to raise the minimum wage price and do not want to spend money for those foreign laborers, for the insurance and other things, they do not do it legally. If they were doing it legally, then there was not such a market for it. They would open the doors. They were saying, okay, we need laborers come in, and there was no need of those kind of visas. But then they made the universities do the job for them. So the university is the mirror that I was talking about. They are bearing the responsibilities for it, and they are bringing the labor that is needed in Malaysia. So I think it's not the problem of universities, but the governmental, because the insurance and the quality of life and the monies that are going to be spent are the foreign workers are a great sum. So the government try to do these tricks in order to reduce the costs of bringing the laborers. After that, I want to explain that what you should probably look at instead of going after the universities. Because at the end of the day, even if you get the university degree as a foreigner in your country, it's totally useless. They won't allow you to do anything. even in European or other countries, they will look at you as a loser. Malaysia, have you studied in Malaysia? Yeah, boleh, boleh, we boleh, Malaysian boleh. We didn't learn the proper English. We didn't learn the proper way of doing research or doing the engineering side of things. So at the end of the day, universities are also one part of the big income of your country. So, and then it's just oriented on having an income, not really to have a great way of education. Because if they were trying to have great way of education, they would not divide Malaysian people into different races. When you go, even if I go to a hospital, they will say, "What is your race?" That's over the top. They will say, "What is your race?" in the hospital or in university. Some universities, they won't allow you in if you are in another race. The racism that they created has reduced the speed of improvement of your country significantly, and therefore the first problem comes from the racism in your organized racism in your country. Then it comes to false education, useless education. They make a market. They will try to show that we have the certificates to teach, but it's all useless. And the third thing is that they want to bring the market, the laborers in any way that they want to have low cost for them. So I don't know what you are trying to do. Good luck. I know how to destroy Malaysia. I know how to destroy universities in Malaysia, accreditation system in Malaysia, and make a humor in internet from it. But what's the use? Even if I do that, at the end of the day, there won't. I'm not here to destroy things. I want to improve things, even in your country. So, if I knew that would be useful to destroy the image of your country, I would do that. I mean, in the perspective of, I can destroy the image of your country, at least the education system. I can voice out some of your problems, but then it wouldn't be so much different, I believe.